That is my audience. Can you recall a time you were told a story and you wondered, what is the other side to this? Whether it was passed down to you by a friend, a family member, or even a stranger, it made its way to you. Stories that are passed down could be described as folklore. This is also what inspired Taylor Swift, singer and songwriter, to write her album in 2020. As an avid listener of the album, I felt inclined to do more research on it. So today, I hope you can get a better understanding of the album Folklore after I've described its origins, its storytelling, and its success. First, I will tell you about Folklore's origins. The timing of the album's release and the shift from her widely known pop style grabbed a lot of people's attention. According to Grammy.com, the album was released on very short notice. It was announced the morning of July 23, 2020, and released that same midnight, the 24th. The inspiration for the album came during COVID-19. The suddenness of the lockdown and the tense atmosphere that it brought prompted Swift to release the album. And in a quote from her social media post, "The times we're living in keep reminding me that nothing is guaranteed." What was also quite surprising about this album was how she broke into a new genre of music. Here I will share to you the cover album. As you can see, this is quite different from her previous pop albums that were more lively and playful. She does not aim to recreate that with this album. In this album, she explores a more melancholic tone, and the lyrics she wrote in it also demonstrate more vulnerability. According to journalist Lauren DeHolland on Gem magazine, she states, "No longer does she rely on purely autobiographical accounts, but rather a way of expressing her emotions and memories through the motion of tales." Next, we will talk about folklore storytelling. What made this album stand out more were the fictional character stories. As described in the same article by GemMagazine.com, the album features complicated love triangles between three teenagers. Instead of telling the story in one song, Swift decides to write three songs in the perspectives of Betty, James, and August. Each of their perspectives are told in the songs Cardigan, Betty, and August. The song Betty is from the perspective of James, who has been unfaithful to Betty. The song Cardigan is from Betty's perspective, where she looks back on the relationship and the betrayal she felt. August is the girl that James had an affair with, his perspective. As mentioned in the article about the other lover, the notion that there is a villain girl is a total myth. As mentioned in the article about the other lover, this demonstrates that Swift is not reciting things about her personal life. Rather, she is trying to explore complex narratives and the feelings that surround them through her lyrics. Lastly, I will tell you about the success of Folklore. It has been critically acclaimed and it did commercially well. Folklore was recognized with the highest musical award. This is announced in an article on the records.com. Folklore was named Album of the Year at the Grammy Awards on March 14th of 2021. When it was released, Folklore spent 6 consecutive weeks at #1 on Billboard's Top 200 chart, which the article also claims later it was the longest for any album in 4 years. It also had high album sales and streams. The writer also claims both Billboard and Rolling Stones named Folklore the #1 album of 2020 based on actual sales and streaming. To conclude, today I have told you about Folklore's origins, storytelling, and success. It had a surprising announcement, along with some interesting character stories. Ultimately, it was honored in the music industry and had high listening engagement. I told you to reflect on those stories you were told, the ones that may have felt more confusing and made you more curious about the truth. Well, this is exactly what folklore tries to explore. It illustrates that by not limiting itself to telling a story from a single perspective, it demonstrates how stories can change depending on what angle you view it from.